And today, the government announced it will start screening travelers flying from West Africa to the U.S. for Ebola.
Customs and Border Patrol enforcement will take people's temperatures at 5 different airports across the country. The White House says testing will start on Saturday at JFK Airport in New York City, and then next week for Newark and New Jersey, Washington, Dulles, Chicago, and Atlanta. Austin is not on that list, but many travelers are still concerned. KXAN Sophia Beausoleil joining us live from Austin. Bergstrom with more.
Robert, the White House says a very small percentage of people will be impacted by the new screenings. But we talked to travelers here at ABIA, and many people across the country are still very concerned with this illness. Take a look at your screen right now. This is video of the screening that's done in airports in West Africa. Now, U.S. federal officials say most of the people who travel to the United States from West Africa enter one of those 5 airports that you mentioned, Robert. And the government says that it will screen about 150 people a day with new procedures. Now, Customs and Border Protection agents are also watching out for people with obvious signs of the illness. Federal officials say Homeland Security agents will also pass out fact sheets that tell travelers to watch their temperature twice a day for 21 days. Now, people who travel a lot in Austin and abroad say they think the additional screening is needed.
I think because of the crisis that we are having in West Africa, I think it's a good idea, particularly since so many flights maybe departed or go through other countries, that it's not a good idea to screen people when they come through.
I think on our part, it seems like, the United States is really trying to do their part. And, if everyone else would step up to that particular level, I think it'd be good.
Federal officials say more than 30,000 people have been screened in those African countries. 77 people have not been able to board airplanes, and none of them were diagnosed with Ebola. Now, coming up tonight at 6 o'clock, we're going to hear from a UT professor who says that you have to put Ebola into perspective, and while it's important to be cautious, people shouldn't worry. Reporting live from ABIA, Sophia Beausoleil, KXAN News.
We want to give you some perspective on the number of people who could be affected by those airport screenings.
These tests will be for people arriving from Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea. Looking closer, about 36,000 people traveled from those countries in August and September. Fewer than 9,000 of them came to the United States. Of those people, 77 travelers were stopped at airports in their home countries because of symptoms consistent with Ebola. But none of those travelers turned out to have Ebola.
This afternoon, I sat down with Texas Senator John Cornyn. I asked him about whether the screenings go far enough.
I noticed that there wasn't any Texas airport like the George Bush Airport in Houston or the DFW Airport in the Metroplex, and I'd be concerned about that because the problem is there are no direct flights from West Africa into the United States, but they go through these other airports and then come on indirectly.
You can watch more of my interview with the senator this Sunday morning on State of Texas In Depth.
It is important to know the CDC says Ebola is not an airborne virus. That means the only way people can catch it is by having direct contact with bodily fluids from someone who is infected and showing symptoms. We have an in-depth look at Ebola on our website, including why health officials say they are confident they will be able to prevent Ebola from spreading further in the U.S. Just type Ebola in the search box at KXAN.com.